So I'm basically gonna ask you what like I asked you through text before.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's do this. What do you find most intriguing about the materials you work with?
I like the way that you can kind of define the colors and move with like contrast and stuff of each of them. I feel with the colors and the resin, I relate a lot to some of the music I listen to. I'm kind of like a big drum and bass fan. Seeing the colors like swirl around each other, different coats and things like that. The definition, it really kind of like brings out that, I don't know, like that sci-fi kind of like definition to the music in a way. As far as doing resin itself, it was something that I never thought that I would kind of get into. I was more like trying to get into the crafty side of things, like doing blacksmithing and stuff like that, which I still plan to do at some point along the line, but I definitely do love doing the art as far as resin.
How has your life, like your family, your upbringing, like been in regards to your art? Like, do you think like it influences it in any way, or is it more like an individual like endeavor of yours?
It is completely indifferent to that. I was kind of grown up, and my main thing that was pushed, which is kind of funny because I work in a hospital now, but it was something that I was kind of trying to avoid my whole life. And I was basically grown up, and it was just like, look, you got to be in the medical field. I tried to do drafting and wood shop and like a whole bunch of things that I wanted to do, and it was just like, no, you're going to college and you're going to do medical school. So the whole thing of it, I think my parents are pretty accepting now. They're just like, I mean, this looks pretty great. As far as the way I want to set it up for a business, doing like countertops and all kinds of stuff. So, but it was definitely not initially. As far as my raising goes, no. What's really funny, and I was thinking about this for like a good while, was there was like a painting I did. Not even a painting. It was like, markers, and it was kind of like this abstract drawing I did. And it was probably when I was like 7. And my parents actually have it framed because they were just like, wow, that came out really good for like a 7-year-old doing something abstract. And probably when I get my social media up and everything, I'll probably even put that on there just for, people to look at and joke about. So I think it's kind of cool though. So it's kind of weird relating to like something I did maybe when I was 7 and then bouncing back to now where it's just like I'm doing like this abstract kind of stuff. And it's just like, well, look how that came back, at now 31 years old.
What are your main artistic influences, or like where do you find inspiration for your resin work?
Until this all kind of happened, I didn't really have a huge artistry background. I was really into digital art as far as like looking up wallpapers and things like that. People that did, I really love color pencil drawings. Color pencil drawings, they blow my mind. My sister's actually really good at them. She does wolves and like lions and bears, and for people to wrap their heads around that and actually draw something, like I can do some quick sketching, but like the actual art of drawing itself is something that I would need a lot of heavy practice on, and it takes my breath away. As far as main contributing artists, there's a bunch of them that I like, but I can't really say any too many one of them contributed to what I do now.
Has art always been your first choice career-wise? I know like you work in the medical field, so your family like did push you to that. Do you have like any passion in that?
They did want, I was going to be a radiologist. I'd say probably by now, let me see, maybe 2 years back, 28, I'd probably be graduating, and I'd be making like 6 figures a year. It's something, I didn't see myself in a reading room every day just looking at x-rays and CTs and being kind of bound to that life. Doing what I do now, I do enjoy connecting with patients, listening to them and things like that. It can be a lot. I'm in the ER, so it's a really stressful situation, but as far as like what I'm into now, I can't wait to push this like further.
And how has that, like, your profession affected your artist career? Like, how does it, like, take time away from you and, like, achieving, like, your goals, like, your future goals?
So as much as I just said in the previous question that I do enjoy what I do, finding this was kind of like the push out the door that said, you have to go follow this. And right now you kind of have to do this at any means possible to stop whatever you're doing. So I'm slowly kind of transitioning to the point where hopefully here in the future, this has only been like a 1 year thing. Starting back in February, we've come quite a far way as far as, December being here soon. And we're working on getting a land and a shop and working on carpentry and stuff. And there'll be like way more to show later. But it's something that I've really just dedicated to throwing my whole life into.
Describe your regular artistic process from start to finish, like from when you like have an idea to like when you finally get like the finished product. Like, does it usually go as you plan it to go? You said like resin is like...
Yeah, so it's partially a little bit, so I always have like the strikes that I always want to do as far as how I can see an abstract pattern forming. Resin moves and changes. There's like a thermal reaction. It's hardening. You have like a 40-minute work time. I almost find about that half of my work is it's right when it's centered. I'm like, oh, okay, I love this. And then it starts changing and I'm just like, my life is pouring off the canvas. Like I get really stressed out about it, and people still see the stuff and they're just like, oh, it's beautiful, because everyone has their own opinion of art. Mm-hmm. But it's sometimes a little stressful because of how quickly it's changing. So, but the outcome is usually really nice. I never realized how important, depending on what kind of art you're doing, a flat surface is. A flat surface is everything for resin. It changes your painting on what size and, everything it can shift to.
How do you see yourself evolving your art in the future and changing it, whether it's like business wise, or do you hope to like expand the mediums you work with?
So, whoa, lost my breath there. So, for that, I kind of have like this large idea of a business where it's almost kind of like a creation factory. I want to be able to do furniture and surfaces. We're going to be doing remodeling as far as like kitchens and like interiors, but I want to be able to take people's ideas as far as like furniture and like art goes, and I want to really get into sculpturism. I haven't touched on that yet, but like just with wood and resin together, there's like a whole process where you can do sculpturism and things. But I really want to change the way things look and also more to what people want in their houses. So I want to take influences from like architecture and like things from nature and just like let them actually be like inside and change the way people look at an interior.
That's cool. What do you think separates your pieces from others?
So in my case at the moment, I feel like I'm still doing a lot of practicing. You get really nice, beautiful cells in resin. And I've been upgrading in different grades of resin here. I actually have a better resin today that I'm going to be using on that big canvas that we got over there. I do like my work. I do sometimes find myself a little bit jealous of the cells that some other artists obtain, but it's still a work in progress. And this is like just one side of kind of what I'm getting into. So it's going to be like a very broad range of things because I'm going to do metalworking and all kinds of stuff.
What advice do you have for other resin artists starting out in their business?
Just start. Just get the materials. Sometimes you don't get to eat, man, and you just like you go to work and you come back and you're like, I'm gonna do this pour. Like just begin. Like start and never look back. That's my best advice for that.
You're good. That's it.
Awesome.